कृष्णं सख कृष्णं योगं कृष्णं यज्ञं कृष्णं गुरु कृष्णं सख कृष्णं योगं कृष्णं यज्ञं कृष्णं कृष्णं शरणं कृष्णं शरणं
Amiji, welcome to this special episode of our Gita podcast, especially for Janmashtami, Krishna Janmashtami. Just taking a clue from your title, My Friend Arjun. Um, it's like this podcast is a friend. I count you as a friend, commenting on another friend. And I love this line from Gita, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadav, Hey Sakheti. He's probably the only, high performance hero figure who is addressed like a friend. And I like to say, Hey Krishna, Hey Madhav, Hey Saketi. But that's my addition. It's not in Gita. The Hey Yadav word is there. So I don't know. I mean, his birth itself is dramatic. And there is kind of, I say that it denotes freedom. Freedom from everything, everything falls open, doors open. So should we start there? I mean, have your thoughts about
Krishna? Krishna is, I mean, from the time of his janma, from the time of his birth, he's unbound. Kans tried everything. He knew that his nemesis is going to take birth. He tried everything to stop it. But if something has to happen, it will happen. No evil can last forever. However strong that person is, however strong the person believes he is, and the fact that he believes he can control destiny beyond a point, even the strongest person is going to be helpless in front of nature, in front of Prakriti. And hence, against all odds, Krishna is born. Krishna is not just born, Krishna breaks free. He's unshackled right from the very beginning. Right. The weather becomes such, because see, when an event has to happen, the whole universe conspires to make it happen. This is beautiful line from The Alchemist, that when an event has to happen, he says it in a different sense, but anyways, the whole universe conspires to make it happen. And it is this: what is the universe? The universe is the river, the universe is the wind, the universe is the weather. And the coming of Krishna signifies that milestone in the Indian Itihas. So when he is born, it's very strange that otherwise the gods were always awake and aware and conscious, suddenly fall asleep. They're tired, they fall asleep. The locks break open. Probably there was somebody who was actually helping Devaki and Vasudev at that point. So the locks break open, Vasudev takes Krishna literally in a basket and crosses across the raging Yamuna at that point in time. And as destiny has to have it, or destiny had it, he goes to Yashoda and Nandalal's home across in Gokul, and they too had just delivered a baby. At the time when Krishna was born here, there was a baby born in Gokul. So he exchanges the children, and he comes back, all in that night. Because Krishna's birth was important for what he himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Yeah. In Mahabharata, or rather the Krishna Janma for that matter, has had twofold impact. One was in his own family. So there is, as in Ramayana, Sri Ram is the protagonist, right? And it is his life story. That life story you see emerge in the Bhagavad Purana. It's captured in the Bhagavad Purana, where it is Krishna's life. Yeah. All that he goes through. His marriage, issues in Dwarka, issues in Mathura, how he gets through to all of that. But he has a significant role to play in something that is not directly associated with him or related to him. Right. That is the Mahabharata war, where he is not the protagonist. The protagonists are Pandavas and Kauravas, cousins. Yeah. They are first cousins. Krishna is a relative of both Pandavas and Kauravas, and his role becomes extremely important to ensure that dharma sansthapan happens. in his own family, but also setting the right precedent for India overall, for the Sanatan civilization overall. So that is how the coming of Krishna happens.
So, Amiji, I mean, you're touching this dharma sansthapanarthaya, and we did an episode on that, yada yada hi dharmasya. It seems like, you talked about the universe makes things happen, and it will kind of, miracles and magic can happen. But it seems like there is a regulatory system, there is cosmic intelligence, there is cosmic regulation. So there is something more than what we can see through our eyes that make things happen. I mean, it's Krishna is saying those words, but he's kind of giving this cosmic constitution, right?
You brought in a very important point, Krishna ji. Of course, Krishna ji has to begin deep points.
2.0.
Yeah. So we have a term called Rita or Rita, as some people call it. Yeah. We have dharma, but we also have Rita. So what is this Rita? Rita is called the cosmic order. And the Puranas Itihas happened later. First, we had the Vedic civilization, the Vedas, right? They consistently talk about what is of this term called Rita. They say there is this Rita sort of ensures that the world goes around, that the universe is what it is. The way to understand this is, if say the earth wasn't rotating or revolving at a certain speed, there would be no life. If the sun and the earth were not at a certain distance, again there would be no life. It would be too cold, it would be too warm, and at least not in the form we see right now, right?
Yeah.
What ensures that this happens that way? Right. That is what we call the rhythm. Now, human beings, to ensure that the rhythm is maintained, the cosmic order is maintained, they also have a role to play. What is that role? See, clearly, we all survive not on our own. We take a lot from the universe around us, the world around us, right? Right from the very beginning. If there are no rains, we will not survive. Because, of course, there will be no grains, there will be no food, nothing, right? Without fire, we couldn't have come this far. So, without water, of course, we know, without air, we can't breathe, we'll die. So, our life is dependent on all these natural forces. Our ancestors observed that and they realized that because their survival depends on all these forces, they owe it to them. They owe their gratitude to them, but not just gratitude. If you want somebody to take care of you, you take care of them. And that is how the whole ritual of yagna, which is called the fire ritual in English, so to say, but the yagna got developed, which means to worship, to appease. Now, worship who? These devatas, because we saw the natural forces, and for us, they were devatas, right?
Yeah,
because these
Amiji, I sometimes use the word called give and receive economy.
Yes.
So
It's
instead
exactly
of
that.
tax and carry.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
If you see the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's in the 3rd chapter, where Krishna talks about how we should worship the Devtas, or rather when we appease the Devtas appease us. That whole thing is yagna, right? Now, when we say worship, it is not just the ritual of worship, but that consciousness has to come in everything that we do. Yeah. We need to use resources, but let's not exploit nature, right? Let's give it back. That sense of give and take, of reciprocal relationship, of a symbiotic relationship is what we see in Yagna. And that Rita guards the entire ethos of the Sanatan civilization. When Krishna says dharma sansthapanarthaya, this is one of the things he's talking about. Maintaining the cosmic order as well as the order of justice in the civilization, so that the civilization doesn't just survive, but it thrives and it prospers. And that word dharma is basically that. धारणात् धर्मिति आहु धर्मो धारयति प्रजा यह स्यात् धारण संयुक्तम सह धर्म इति निश्चयः. This quote comes from Mahabharata, where Krishna says, because it upholds and sustains, it is called dharma. All actions, that principle which leads to sustainability, to sustenance, is dharma, but not just sustenance for the heck of it. Prabhavarthaya, for the sake of progress, for the sake of thriving, for the sake of prosperity, for the sake of well-being. That principle of sustainability is called dharma.
Yeah, I mean, basically, on a basic level, it's a cleanup operation, right? So, I mean, Krishna, there is so many aspects of Krishna we can talk about, but one aspect I love, when I said my friend Krishna, is he's one you can become friends with and you can call him friend. And that's what happens in Mahabharata. Arjun is not only his friend. There's so many, everybody he goes to. Even Duryodhan, when he goes as a friend. So this friend leadership, I don't see it, there is servant leadership, there is kind of a different kind of leadership there. But when it comes to decisions, then you have to take decisions based on interests. So Krishna is my friend doesn't mean if I do something wrong, he's going to protect. I am responsible for my wrong decisions and my wrongdoings. So this friend leadership, have you given any thought on this kind of approach?
So you brought out a very beautiful point, Krishnaji. Friend leadership. So here the dynamics is different, right? Nobody owes anybody anything. They are together for the sake of care, concern for each other, right? Krishna didn't need to be at that war. He could have chosen to stay out. It was not his war, right? In fact, that is why he doesn't even fight. He chooses, or rather, Arjun chooses him. That is why Krishna is there. Now, Arjun could have chosen the army. They were anyway smaller army than what Duryodhan had, right? Duryodhan had 11 Akshahunis. These guys only had 7 overall. So Arjun could have chosen the army. He had a choice. But Arjun chose Krishna. Now, again, Arjun did not owe anything to Krishna that he had to listen to him. Right. Nor did Krishna owe anything to Arjun. However, Arjun chose Krishna and he expressed, or rather he reinforced his trust in Krishna and the fact that he was willing to listen. Because when you have a friend who is so smart, who's so sorted, they are not going to come and just flatter you for the heck of it, right? A good friend is the one who cares for you in the way that you also don't care for yourself. You might want to go out and do something wrong just because you desire it. You're not thinking right. A good friend is the one who will even slap you when he has to and say, no, you're wrong. He's not somebody who's loyal to you for the heck of being loyal.
He's so...
He literally says that. He's like, first of all, he says, Klebyam mas magama, don't become an impotent, don't behave like a coward, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, Ashochan Anvashochasva Pragyavadansha Bhashase. You are crying over what you shouldn't cry over, and you think you are some smart person.
Yeah.
The fact that Krishna said it is expected. But the fact that Arjun listened,
that is
also Arjun's guna. So, beauty of the friend leadership is that both sides have to have the right intentions and the care and the sympathy and the relation where they are both concerned about the well-being of each other. And they both have the trust. It's a trust leadership that whatever the other person is going to say, whatever my friend is going to say, it is for my good without any personal agenda or ambitions. That is what it is. In fact, what you also said about we have to face our own karmas, right?
Yeah.
This is the karma siddhanta, which is the foundational principle of the Hindu dharma, of the Sanatan civilization, right? Even Bhagwan cannot take on your karmas. You have to you have to do your karmas and you have to face the repercussions of it. Bhagwan can also only be a sarathi. He can only be a guide. Now it's on you whether you listen or not, right?
Yeah.
Arjun did that. Arjun accepted Krishna as a sarathi and also had the humility to say, Baba, Krishna, I'm your student, I'm confused, please guide me. I surrender to you. So that humility is what really helps a person succeed in life and get good guidance from a friend.
It's funny
Otherwise,
you
what will happen?
mentioned, it's important that you mention that because Krishna keeps quiet until Arjun says, I am a student now. I mean,
Correct.
when Arjun is saying all these things, he's just keeping quiet, you know. But
So
then,
Krishna
of course,
initially, when the way this happens is Arjun, initially he says, oh, I can't fight. I will not fight. I am not in the, why should I kill all these people? Is it just for luxury? Is it just for this kingdom? I don't want to fight. This is not right and all. So initially Krishna just dismisses him, no? He says, Arey, what are you saying? Why are you talking like a coward? You're crying over, as we discussed. You think you're some smart person. He just dismisses it. But then when Arjun really surrenders,
yeah,
that's when Krishna says, okay, now I'll explain to you. And then that goes on over like 650 shlokas, right? The whole conversation between them, where then Krishna is fully involved. And he says, okay, you're willing to listen, you have an open mind. Now let me address your questions.
yeah,
The other aspect.
that's when I think, you know, I don't know, this is my personal feeling that Krishna takes him through a guided meditation rather than just a lecture. But
Yeah, absolutely. But also, Krishna ji, you mentioned about friend leadership, right?
Mm.
Sometimes when it is a hierarchical relationship,
Yeah,
you are expected to just follow,
yeah,
right? But in a friend relationship, you have the freedom to ask questions without fearing that the other person might be offended. If you see Krishna and Arjun's conversation, it is not as if Krishna said, okay, do this, and Arjun started doing this, right? Arjun is asking, and asking, questions after questions after questions.
yeah.
And patiently, Krishna is guiding him through all the questions and doubts and shankas he has. So that is the other aspect of it. When you have a more non-hierarchical leadership equation, which a friend leadership shows. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there is a word in leadership circles here because I have a good friend. He has this book, Art of Leadership. And I talk with him about whenever I say friend leadership, he will translate it into caring leadership. But, you know, to me, it's not the same. Caring
No,
leadership
it's
is
not.
still, yeah,
There could still be a hierarchy, right, in a
yeah.
caring relationship or leadership or even leadership, for sure.
So, no, I mean, that's amazing. But in the relationship, and, you know, you mentioned about starting, and this is where like relationship and, you know, is important. And most of, uh, I mean, Arjun's logic was strong, but I think that his strongest logic comes Katham Bhisma Maham Sankhya Dronam Cha Madhusudanam.
Right.
What was his relationship with Bhishma and Drona? Can you bring that character? You know, I know you're in the book, but
Yeah. So Bhishma is the grandfather, not exactly grandfather, but the relationship Bhishma shares with Pandavas, or actually Pandavas, Kaurav, all of them. He is the grandfather. He's the patriarch of the Pandav Kaurav family, right? And Bhishma loves Pandavas as much as he loves the Kauravas. So here Arjun is faced with a dilemma that in this war he is going to fight his own grandfather, somebody in whose lap he has sat and played, right? Somebody who he is so affectionate. Both sides. Bhishma has the affection for Arjun. Arjun has that affection for Bhishma. They are not enemies.
yeah,
Bhishma isn't wanting anything bad for Arjun. But given that this war has been imposed on them by Duryodhan and his coterie, and Bhishma had no way out but to fight it, being that because it was the king's decision of Hastinapur. Now they are they are in this position where Arjun is going to fight his own grandfather. And Dronacharya is the guru of Arjun. Now, if you see the relationship of Arjun and Dronacharya, while he was still in the Gurukul, when he was a student, it's beautiful. Yeah. Dronacharya has a special affection for Arjun. But it is not because, he just has favoritism or bias. It is because of the way Arjun was as a student. extremely dedicated, extremely focused, always concerned about his practice, becoming the best. But over everything else, his commitment to his guru is unparalleled. No other student shows that kind of commitment towards Dronacharya as Arjun does. So clearly, that relationship is also very special. Dronacharya thinks of Arjun as his own son. So also again a very, very close relationship. Now here Arjun has to fight, and this war was going to be the finale, so to say, right?
Right.
So it was not just a fight for the heck of it. It's not as if he's not fought them before. Just maybe a few months back, there was this yuddha in Matsya Desh, right? Where single-handedly Arjun, who was dressed like an eunuch, he defeats the entire Kaurava army, which has Bhishma, which has Dronacharya, which has Kripacharya, and everybody else. He doesn't face this dilemma at that time because that war, he only had to defeat them and make them retreat. He didn't have to kill them. This war was not going to be that. This war was
Do or die.
the one do or die. So kill or die. That's how it was, right? So if Pandavas had to win, all those guys had to die. So now, so one is, of course, he loves them and cares for them. But also, if you see, we all, so the way Krishna takes Arjun through is that you should do your swadharma, he says, right? You're a warrior. A warrior's dharma is to establish justice in the society, to set the right precedent, and hence you must do that. But also, Arjun has a dharma towards his family, like we all do, right? We have a professional responsibility, but we also have responsibility towards our family. So here, Arjun is faced with a very interesting dilemma. It is family pitched against his professional dharma, or the larger dharma of establishing justice. And he has to choose between the two. So it was absolutely not easy. That was one of the biggest dilemmas, because his decision either ways would lead to destruction. Right? Somehow. So which is the lesser evil, but also the larger responsibility? What is that larger end goal that you're working towards? So absolutely, and that's why it makes it so fascinating, a conversation as well.
Yeah, I love that part. And it's from Arjun point of view. But sometimes I look at from Bhishma point of view, was his heart really with Kauravas? Because Arjun and Krishna go to him, how can I kill you? And then he tells the secret, right? So...
No, it's not Arjuna and Krishna, it's Yudhishthir goes to him.
Oh, Yudhishthir goes to him. Okay.
Yudhishthir goes to him.
Okay.
See, from the very beginning, Bhishma has been opposing this war. Okay. Right from the time of negotiations that happen between Pandavas and Kauravas, Hastinapur and Upapalabhya, where they are sitting, Bhishma, Vidur, Dronacharya have consistently advised Duryodhan to not get into this war with Pandavas and give them their rightful share. Not even the rightful share. Indraprasth was something that Pandavas had built with their sweat and blood, right? What they got was a barren land, and they converted it into a prosperous kingdom. So it was not even their share, it was just their kingdom. But of course, Duryodhan doesn't listen, because for Duryodhan, it is not about the land. For Duryodhan, his jealousy towards Pandavas is such that he says it's not about the land at all. I cannot exist along with Pandavas. It'll be them or me. So war is now necessitated. Now Bhishma, of course, has the role as the patriarch of the family, but he's also the minister of Hastinapur kingdom. And the Raja Dhritarashtra has taken a call to go ahead with this war. So it was his moral duty towards his kingdom to fight this war, right? So he fights the war, but he tries to create deterrence as much as possible. He tells Duryodhan, so Duryodhan goes to him and says, I want you to become the Senapati, the commander of my forces. Bhishma says, well, okay, I can't say no, I will do that. However, I have a condition. I will only do this on one condition, that I will not kill the Pandavas. So he makes it clear upfront. Duryodhan knows upfront that Bhishma has said he will not kill the Pandav brothers. And Bhishma also says, I will not kill somebody who was first a woman and then who becomes a man, right? So that is very clear. Also, after that, in fact, Gandhari has told Duryodhana that you think Dronacharya, Bhishma, and all that are fighting on your side. Yes, but remember their hearts are going to be with Pandavas because they are the right side.
She had
She
already
says it.
written that. Okay.
Yeah, and even he knows that this is going to happen, but he doesn't care because also as the Senapati, Bhishma was going to fight, so he doesn't fight the Pandavas per se, but every day he kills like thousands of the people of the Pandav army, right? So he's still doing destruction, no doubt. So having him to do that destruction also was good enough. He's one of the best warriors in the Mahabharata Katha, so to say. And then what happens is before the war is going to start, they're both just after the Bhagavad Gita discourses happened. Yudhishthir goes to Bhishma, Dronacharya, and everybody, and he says, "You are my elders, so I seek your permission to fight this war." They're all very happy, and they say, "If you wouldn't have come, we would have cursed you, because this kind of respect you must show towards your elders, right?" So you showed it. We are very happy. You have that sanskar in you. We are very happy. So now you ask us for what you want, but without telling us to fight on your side. That is one thing we cannot do. We cannot do that. Why? He says, Arthasya Purusha Dasaha. Man is the slave of where he gets his money from. As we say, no, namak halal, namak khaya hai. Exactly. जहां जिस थाली में नमक खाया उसमें छेद नहीं कर सकते. So that is why we cannot fight on your side. But ask us what you want. And that time Yudhishthira says, okay, tell me how to kill you. And Bhishma at that point says, I will tell you, but not now. Come back later. I'll tell you when the time is right. And then on the 9th night, Yudhishthira and everybody else, they go again. And Bhishma tells them that this is how, if you find somebody who was female before, then I will then I will not fight that person. Of course, Shikhandi, unlike how it is believed that he was standing next to Arjun in the chariot, that's not how the war happened. Because Shikhandi was a warrior in his own right and his own might. So he's the one who challenges Bhishma. Just that he is no match to Bhishma. So then when his challenge is not, when Bhishma is paying no heed to Shikhandi, so Shikhandi keeps shooting arrows at him, Bhishma doesn't care. Then Arjun starts shooting arrows at Bhishma, and eventually Bhishma falls. So it's not what people think that he was deceived or anything, nothing like that happened. Okay. But yeah, so the point is that Duryodhana always knew that somewhere Bhishma has a soft corner for Pandavas. Bhishma had said it up front, he will not kill the Pandavas. He was never in favor of the war. But still, as the Senapati, whatever he had to do, as in the fact that he continued to destroy the forces anyways. So he sort of balanced very well. He balanced that very well, and Duryodhana knew that he would.
So I know we can keep talking for 2 days and not finish, our lovely discussion, Amiji. But tell me one thing: Krishna had a soft side as well. He's one kind of, hero figure in our history, highly efficient, who can dance, who can play music, who could smile in the middle of the war when Arjun is down and almost out, and he is prasannati, he can laugh, and it's that soft side is amazing, isn't it? I mean, you cannot imagine Ram doing that.
Actually, that's because we don't read the Valmiki Ramayana.
Okay.
Sri Ram is not so emotionless or anything. If anything, he's exactly opposite of that.
So he's not a serious.
Sri Ram has all. No, he's not. He has all emotions that you can imagine. He's one of the more romantic than what Krishna is.
Okay.
Yeah. The problem is we don't read the Valmiki Ramayana. Yeah. We base our image of Sri Ram based on the retellings and all other fiction based on it. Valmiki Ramayana, which is the Itihas, the Sri Ram of the Valmiki Ramayana, is absolutely beautiful, full of emotion. But while feeling those emotions, you still need to take certain decisions, which he does, right? But otherwise, he's equally, or rather, he's more emotional than actually Sri Ram, than Krishna is, right? Krishna, talk about the soft side. I mean, you're saying soft side because he dances and sings, but his entire family dies in front of his eyes, and he's still detached. Right? Is that soft? He's more in that sense, he's way more controlled. When Sitaji was taken away, Sri Ram is devastated.
Fell
He
apart.
runs around like a madman, right?
Yeah.
Krishna sees his entire family die in front of his eyes, and he's nonchalant. So, in fact, our understanding of Ram and Krishna is not how it is, how the text actually tell us. But Krishna has a soft side. I will not say it's a soft side. That's the Yogeshwar side of Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita, what is Krishna telling Arjuna? He says, one, you should do your duty. But the second part he talks about is how you should do your duty.
Yeah.
Sukha dukkha samokritva.
Labha, labha, jaya.
Labho jaya jaya. Right? Happiness, sorrow. You shouldn't get super excited because something good happens. You shouldn't get devastated because something bad happens. Just because you win, don't get overexcited. Just because you lose, don't give up hope. Maintain that equanimity. Maintain that vairagya bhav. And you will always be happy when you are in that sense. He talks about udharet atmana atmana. Now, atmana sade. You are your enemy, you are your friend. But what does it mean being friend or enemy? How much control do you have over your emotions? How much control do you have over your impulses? Can you stay objective and equanimous in every situation? The thing with Krishna is he lives every word of the Gita he has taught Arjuna. And
It's
that is
very
why in
interesting.
every situation he has that bliss.
Yeah, he teaches non-attachment. He lives non-attachment. So if you look at his life, I mean, he spends time in like Vrindavan and with
Gokul,
Radha.
yeah.
Right. So once he leaves that, it's gone. He doesn't go back and then he leaves Mathura, goes to Dwarka. It's like non-attachment is kind of his life depicts that. So
it's like that Ved Vakya we say, no, charai veti.
Yeah.
Life happens, you keep moving,
Yeah.
right? You keep moving, you keep doing what you are supposed to do. You keep fulfilling all your responsibilities without getting stuck anywhere. Because only then you can move and grow and achieve what you are meant to achieve. So his life is his life is Bhagavad Gita in action.
Right.
His life is Veda Vakyas in action.
So coming back to, I think, we should complete here is this customs and social kind of this Parv and Tevhar, that we do this Janmashtami with big fervor, dahi handi and whatnot. Somebody must have thought about it, whether it is Ram Navami, whether it is Navratri, whether it is Janmashtami. I love the thought process behind this. And not to be critical, but we have Doctor's Day, Nurses Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day. They're all good. But the thought process that brought these kind of things that have been flowing through as if a living energy is kind of flowing through thousands of years, as far as our history goes. I don't know. I mean, I love this whole parampara.
No, absolutely. See, that's the beauty of the Sanatan culture, right? When we say Sanatan is that which is eternal. Sanatan is Nitya-Nutan, which is always new and it's always eternal. And what is it that keeps it continuous and eternal? It is these thoughts, these values, these rituals, these festivals which flow through. Now, that doesn't mean there has not been any innovation, right? That has also been there. We have seen new festivals emerge. We have seen some old festivals die away. So that has also happened. But by and large, this thought that you celebrate those who set an example, who lived this planet Earth as ideals for all of us. They also went through ups and downs in life. If you see Sri Ram's life, there is a lot of struggle. But if you see Krishna's life, there is no less struggle. Just that he doesn't behave that way. He's smiling through everything, but the struggle is there, the loss is there, the viraha is there.
Yeah, from day one, danger is surrounding him.
Danger is there. And in all that, he has managed to live that life of Yogeshwarta, that life of being Yogastha, right? You spoke about meditation. He's living his life like that, in that samadhi state, which is allowing him to see things for what they are. which is allowing him to take the right call when he needs to take the right call without any confusion, which is allowing him to give the kind of discourse and advice that he is giving to everybody in the Mahabharata, not just Arjun. He gives right advice to everybody who comes to him, right? How is that possible? It is because of the way he is. And such a person is only Deva Rupa. It is only that Ansha of Devata. It's the Devata Rupa. It's only Devanugraha that such a man walked on this planet Earth. And that man has to be celebrated. But when we celebrate Krishna, we are not just celebrating him as a human being. We are celebrating all the values that he represents. We are celebrating all the emotions. We are celebrating all the wisdom that he has left for us. So that's the idea of all of these festivals that come.
You used the word Yogeshwar. And yes, Yog Ishwar. But do you have any things to say about, I mean, is that one word description of Krishna or?
For me, I see if somebody asks me one word description of Krishna, I would say Yogeshwar. Now, what is yoga? Mm-hmm. That's the question, right? Why yoga? So we also have Adi Yogi. We call Shivji as Adi Yogi, the first yogi, and we call Krishna Yogeshwar, the Lord of Yoga. Now, what is yoga? So, yoga, as Patanjali Yoga Sutra says, yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is when you achieve that state of mind where there is no confusion, no thoughts,
clarity,
Shanti, Satchidananda. When you are Satchidananda, you have objectivity, you have clarity, you have no confusion about what is right and wrong. You see things for what they are, not through your biased views, not through your emotions, but for what they are. Now, yoga, of course, the level is you just don't see outside for what it is, you see inside as well. You see yourself also for what you are. You are not just this body, you're way beyond. What is that eternal thing in you? So you see that. And when you have that realization, your behavior is going to be completely different while you are in this world. Krishna exemplifies that. Going through all the struggles and ups and downs in life, he stays at that level of Satchidanand, with that mental clarity, right? He is yoga. It shows in every action of his. And that is why one of the greatest texts of yoga is the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Yoga doesn't need to always happen sitting in a forest somewhere. Yoga can happen in everything that you do, because the other meaning of yoga is union. Union of what? Union of mind, body, and Atma. Union of Atma and Paramatma. Again, oneness in everything that you do, consistency in everything that you do, alignment in everything that you do. What you feel, what you say, how you behave. All of that is yoga. Who exemplifies that? Krishna. That yogastha buddhi is Krishna tattva. In fact, that comes beautifully in that chariot analogy. Mm-hmm. We see Arjun and Krishna, and Arjun and Krishna being the Sarathi, right? So if you take the Kathopanishad analogy, it says this body is a rath, is a chariot. The horses are our senses. The mind is the rein. If the rein is not controlled properly, the horses will run wherever they want. You will never reach your destination. You might fall off. The person who is being driven will fall off and probably even die, right? So if you need to reach your destination, all these horses need to be directed and disciplined. What does that? The rein. But does rein do it itself? It is the buddhi the sarathi which is controlling, right? Yeah. Who is that sarathi? It is this buddhi tattva. Now, if this buddhi tattva is yogastha, like Krishna, you will achieve greatness. You will achieve what you have to achieve, which is that oneness with Atma and Paramatma, which is the eventual goal, right, that we talk about.
So if man is running you, you are in trouble. If buddhi is running, then you are, well controlled.
But that buddhi also, what kind of buddhi, right? Have you achieved that equanimity? If you have you achieved this, the buddhi has to be Krishna. Yeah. Right, the Vivek Buddhi, exactly, the Yogastha Buddhi, which he talks about in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. One thing, just Krishna not only teaches Arjun Gita, but he also stays there as an accountability partner, making sure that Arjun doesn't get derailed. And sometimes when he does get derailed, Krishna kind of pulls him back there.
Yes.
So
that is the role of the Sarthi. He chose to be the Sarthi. That is the role of the Sarthi. In any war or in general, a Sarthi is always the best friend of the warrior.
Yeah.
That is the role, to ensure that the warrior is not killed, to ensure that the warrior is in the right mind state to fight. And Krishna, being Krishna, he is the best Sarthi one can ever have. He is a Sarathi, he is also a friend, right? Who cares for the well-being of Arjun unlike anybody else, more than even Arjun does. So yeah, so he plays, because that is his role. He's a mentor, he's a guide, and he plays that role of Krishna, of Arjun, because Arjun has told him, "Na Shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapanna." I surrender to you.
Yeah.
I'm your Shishya. Now you have become my Guru. It is more than just a friend. And the Guru will always look out for you in every situation, slap you when he needs to, pamper you when he needs to, right?
On a lighter note, Amiji, I envy your travel photos because I love Himalayas.
Yes.
And I saw some, you went to Mansarovar. That's a...
I went to Kailash, yes, Kailash Mansarovar.
And you did the parikrama as well. And that's and recently I saw you on some waterfall somewhere.
Yeah. Monsoons in Mumbai, right? So this area becomes very beautiful. The Sahyadris are a sight to behold in the monsoons. So a lot of people trek around this time. And a friend of mine, he planned a trip very close to Mumbai, not very far.
Oh.
But this place was so beautiful.
So Sahyadri is not Himalaya.
No, Himalayas are in the north.
I know.
Sahyadris are just by Mumbai. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
it's like
Lonavala, they don't have snow or anything. They're not even that high. They have ghats. And during monsoon, it's like completely green. It's like, वो हम कहते हैं ना स्नान करके आई हो जैसे, a new bride. That's how it becomes. The rocks are also different.
We can finish with the last verse of Gita.
Yatra yogeshwarah Krishno, yatra pardho dhanurdharah, tatra shrir vijayo bhutihi, dhruva nitir matir mama.
हे राजन, जहाँ योगेश्वर भगवान श्री कृष्ण हैं और जहाँ गांडीव धनुषधारी अर्जुन हैं, वहीं पर श्री विजय, विभूति और अचल नीति है, ऐसा मेरा मत है।